What internet marketing expert should you spend your valuable time listening to? Listen to someone who has over 20 years of web marketing experience and hundreds of website marketing success stories. That man is Aaron Sparks from Site Strategics. And this is Edge of the Web Radio.
All right, I've got an article from Buffer by Courtney Cipher. It's a great article. We have a link on edgeofthewebradio.com. Go check that out. It's it's about a guide for creating good tweets, and we're going to go through a number of points of how to craft a really good tweet. What do people want from brands on Twitter? According to Twitter, there are 255 million active Twitter users, and links are by far the biggest way to interact with content, and that makes up 92% of all the user interaction. Twitter users follow a median of about 6 brands on Twitter, looking for things like interesting and fun content, news and updates, discounts and promos, and much more. In fact, 94% of people that are following brands are looking at discounts and promos through Twitter feeds of the brands that they follow. That's huge. The fact of the matter is, you want to know the customers. We want to know the customers are on Twitter and ready to click some links. So they want to hear from you there and take actions that can benefit your business. Twitter research shows that 60% of respondents say that they made a purchase from a small or medium-sized business on something that they saw on Twitter. 60%. 86% say they plan to purchase in the future, and 43% of respondents plan to make multiple purchases from small, medium-sized businesses that they follow on Twitter. I can't stress that enough. There's so many times that small, medium-sized businesses ask us, why should we even be in Twitter? Mm-hmm. That's the data right there. They're going to follow you. They're not going to fall into your form bucket or even sign up for your newsletter unless you're giving a promotion through that. But they will follow you on Twitter, especially if they see you giving discounts or some sort of value from that social feed.
It's all about value.
Yeah,
you better believe it.
Yeah, they may not be ready to buy right then when they follow you, but
right.
As you keep updating with those discounts and promotions and your links, then they'll be reminded and they'll be ready to buy eventually in the future.
That's right. Writing great tweets. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? Because I know it's the kind of the bane of businessmen. It sounds kind of trivial. It's 140 characters. Why in the world?
Did you say trivial?
Oh, stop it. Conversations that you have with your customers every day can also happen on Twitter. Point being, and you can approach these Twitter conversations the same way, like you're talking to a good friend. Okay, here are some tips straight from Twitter. Know the difference between voice and tone.
Yes.
Voice doesn't change, but the business's tone should vary based on a situation. If a follower did not have a positive experience, a business's tone may be more sympathetic and understanding. Right? You need to talk with people, not at people. Reply to at mentions and address both positive and negative feedback in the social. Just don't pay attention to the positive only. All right? First and foremost, you need to pay attention to what's out there. It's a real-time network, so businesses shouldn't keep followers waiting too long. In fact, we have studied it's proven actually like 8 years ago Comcast got into social media, but specifically tweeting, because that was their customer service, and they were actually answering customer service responses inside of social media beyond what was going on their call center, and they were actually servicing those things inside the social media spheres. It's fantastic. Keep tweets conversational.
You get him going.
Yeah, there you are. Be professional without overly formal. Avoid business jargon whenever possible. Think about how your content will be consumed by your followers. Would they want to retweet or pass it on to other people? Incorporate humor, inspiration, and newsworthy content to draw followers in. I'd actually add in there is that your mission and your values come through your voice and tone inside of social media. And you should be exemplifying that, because what you do on a blog, right, that's where you can craft a larger message, but you can really know a heck of a lot about a company just by how they use that 140 words.
Yep. Characters.
Characters. Yep, there you go. Some for viral words and phrases, you should be paying attention to the amplification opportunity there for brand messages and retweets. In fact, 78% of user engagement with a brand's tweet is in form of retweets, according to Salesforce research, which is fantastic. Some data we have here, imperative words that tell you to do something like see, make, or look inside of that tweet are going to take off a heck of a lot more than something just referring to a blog post. Visual words like videos and photos point to the importance of multimedia content. A lot of superlatives like the most and the best and blow your mind. Those things are very useful for that engagement factor. Audience referencing phrases like make you, when you, and you see. These are things that if you're talking to me, I'm more likely to feel strongly about that content. All right? So the how-to phrases that explain a process or teach a skill are also very important in that Twitter feed there. We have a list of, and we'll put this on the site as well. Some of the top most popular 3-word phrases is "this is the," or "will make you," or "when you see," or "till it's what happens when." These things are word choices that will insist upon itself, and you're going to have more viral connections there.
You're kind of leaving a curiosity aspect there. Yeah. With those that people, so they read it, but they don't get the whole picture.
That's
so
right.
You're drawing them in to click through.
That's right.
Good teaser.
Yeah.
Just like writing a really good.
I set him
somebody,
up.
I'm gonna turn off your mic.
Mute button.
I think we need to copyright that. Some of the most retweetable words, say that 3 times fast, and phrases: you, Twitter, please, retweet, post, blog. Those things are very retweetable, and studies have shown that. The least retweetable words are game, going, haha, LOL.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Why?
Yeah.
Really?
Common sense?
How about Rafflecopter?
How about Rattle Can Green? I just heard that recently. Hey, similar patterns appear here, and lots of audience referencing information, like you and Twitter, and other mentions like how to, and a lot of imperative words do really good inside of social media. There's a lot of great data. Salesforce found that tweets that specifically ask followers to retweet receive 12 times higher rates than those that do not. Ask for the retweet. Seriously. I tell you what, we're going to continue this here in a second because we have some really good additional points of how to craft a really good social message inside of Twitter. I just want to continue that thought because there's some great data here. Continuing our thought about how to craft a good tweet. As much
What's twending?
Nice. Action words, more verbs, fewer nouns. You need. You guys are going to be the death of me. After analyzing 200,000 links containing tweets, I found that tweets actually contain more adverbs and verbs than that actually get a higher click-through rate. These are some stats actually coming from a report that we just looked at from
Buffer.
Buffer, that's right.
Yeah.
Formatting, optimizing for your goal. You should have different tweets that can be used to achieve various marketing outcomes. For example, if you want to drive more direct responses, start by simplifying your tweet. Start with a compelling offer and then communicate a sense of urgency. Next, include a strong call to action with a link to your website. Finally, avoid using hashtags or at mentions if you're trying to elicit a strong response. The anatomy of a great direct response tweet, you'll notice that everything is focused on one goal. Click the link.
Yep.
If you're sharing any blog posts, Conductor actually polled people on headline format and found that people prefer sentence case, basically the first letter of every word in the headline capitalized more than lowercase or all caps. Do not do all caps in Twitter. I'm just saying, You're going to be screaming at your audience.
Yeah.
Hashtags. choose the right hashtag. Consider creating a hashtag that is short, recognizable by followers, and allows them to easily follow along. If you're using an existing hashtag, ensure you're adding value to the conversation. Make sure you're adding value. Just don't find what's trending or twending. There you go. That was for you. And then try to hit your cart to that, and then try to spam and advertise inside of that.
I like the people that are always hijacking events.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing like a live tweet,
Yeah.
of an
Yeah.
event or
Yeah.
whatever, and someone just jumps in. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, you got no
gross.
place being here. And on top of that, if you're going to contribute towards what's
the event. Yeah.
exactly.
Did you say contribute?
Ah,
Love it.
will you hit him?
No, you
Tweets with hashtags actually receive 2 times more engagement than those without. Tweets with 1 or 2 hashtags have a 21%. See, I'm doing it myself. 21% higher engagement than those with 3 or more. So
Yeah.
don't stuff it.
Right.
Don't put so many hashtags that the message is completely lost.
Well, the other one too is if you use up too much space, there's
Yep.
not enough room for people to add their own
message.
comments or.
The length of the actual tweet, around 100 characters, is the sweet
There
spot.
you go.
While that may not be a foolproof perfect length for each tweet, research by Track Social on 100 well-known brands popular on Twitter found that the sweet spot of tweet length was around 100 characters. Their analysis saw a spike in retweets among those with 71 to 100%. I've done that before. If I actually click on that retweet and I don't have enough space to actually put, that's a frustration.
Yeah,
It
And I'll
is.
cancel it.
Yeah.
Because
here.
There's stuff in their message so much in there,
Yep.
you know? There's actually there's some really good data in that space. The research actually makes sense when you consider how we use Twitter. And if a tweet has a very long length is from the original poster, we don't have anything that we can comment on. Photos and videos can make content twice as engaging. With Twitter, you have more than characters as content. Equip your marketing arsenal with rich media like photos and Vine and YouTube videos to drive those retweets. It can double the engagement. Well, late last year, Buffer actually took a sample of 100 tweets from their own account and compared their engagement averages of tweets with and without images. And they actually found 18% more click-throughs on the videos, 89% more favorited social media blasts out there, and 150% more tweets. I mean, Twitter went visual with their images inside of the actual Twitter platform, so utilize that to your advantage.
Yeah, and Instagram does not show up there anymore. So
That's right.
Twitter wiped that out.
That's right. Try a Twitter promotion for special content. Beyond your average tweet, Twitter also offers a number of special promotion opportunities, like a Twixclusive. Now they're doing it.
Yeah, that was them. That wasn't us.
An exclusive offer on Twitter that your followers can't find anywhere else. And this is important because your followers on Twitter are different than your followers on Facebook.
Yep.
If you didn't know that, you really need to deep dive into user demographics and understand that there are specific uses for Facebook and specific uses for Twitter. If you have a brick-and-mortar location, tweet a discount code to customers to redeem at the register. On online stores, direct message followers with a discount code that you can track at the checkout. That's fantastic.
And if you're online, use analytics tracking. So if you're
Absolutely.
using like Hootsuite or whatever, you can just throw the campaigns right on it.
Yep, exactly. Timing it right is essential as well. Try weekends for business to consumers and weekdays for business to business. That's pretty important as well. Every business and audience is different, so it's best to test multiple days of the week to see what works for you. If your brand speaks directly to consumers, Saturdays and Sundays may have a higher engagement rate, as that is when most people are not at work and therefore have more free time. A study from Salesforce again discovered that Twitter engagement for brands is 17% higher on Saturday and Sunday compared to weekends, or weekdays, I'm sorry. But that only 19% of all brand tweets are published on weekends. So here's the thing: is that they're doing it because they know they have to, but they're misaligned with their demographic. They're not in the pocket where people are listening. So you shouldn't give up on weekends to take advantage of this. There are a lot of solutions like Buffer and others available that will schedule your tweets in advance. Hootsuite's fantastic.
Buffer's cool.
Buffer's really cool. But you should be paying attention to that, as well as the best time of day is to tweet. Daytime and afternoon. There's a 30% greater engagement rate when tweets are actually published during the day between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. This makes sense if you consider the majority of news, store hours, and activities happen during that day.
Absolutely.
Specifically, the afternoon and early evening hours tend to be a good time to see more engagement and clicks. Stats from Kissmetrics, which is a really good analysis tool, says retweets have been shown to be highest around 5 p.m. drive time. So they shouldn't be on social, but they are. And
They're just wasting the end of the day.
They are. They really are.
Yeah.
They're there. And that noon and 6 p.m. are the best times to post for a higher click-through rate. That's pretty cool, actually. Mobile users have their own platforms as well. There's a lot of Twitter users who are primarily using a mobile device. These folks are likely to be on Twitter during their commute, as well as during school work hours. I wholeheartedly agree. During that drive time, we're looking at 2 times more likely to use Twitter whenever they wake up here. That's primarily mobile users utilizing Twitter throughout the day. Whenever they wake up, 181% more likely when they're commuting. 181%. That's not safe at all.
Well, I don't know that it's that. It's that it's such a short sentence, right? That you just, so you're at a stoplight or you pull over or whatever, and you can just tweet something real quick.
We do not advocate tweeting while you're driving. Just saying. 119% likely to use. I'm not looking at you anymore. They're three times more likely to use when shopping. There you go. And 2 times more likely to use when they're going to sleep, which is creepy. These users might actually be the ones you're looking for your business. They're 44% more likely to click on the links and 66% more likely to retweet than the average user. So on top of that, the frequency of tweets. More posts equal more engagement. So you'll come across businesses that will tweet 2 per day and others that post 20 per day. What's most important is to develop a regular cadence of tweeting.
Yes.
Okay? Your followers should know that they're going to get that regular update from you. And it's okay to tweet as often as you can, as long as the content supports it. Do not reiterate, keep on repeating yourself. You're going to turn off those users. All right, we got a lot more specs on the perfect tweet, but I think this is a really good amount of information to digest and use for your own strategy.